Good evening, folks. This is Connie speaking from CCAA Shop in Nova Iguaçu. We are beginning one more series of our talk show. Thanks because you are here with us again, starting this second year of show. And today we couldn't start with any other professional if not a teacher. And why do we bring so many teachers? Well, guys, knowledge does not occupy space, right? And the more we give, the more we have. But our guest today is over special. You know why? The guest is literally a teacher. We are not talking about a person who started studying and just to practice some English, went to TC course and became a teacher. No, we are talking about a person that studied a lot, still studies of course, and became a teacher whole time at CCAA. He teaches at public schools, and with merit, you will know, and you will have the pleasure to share and ask questions and learn from this guy who just arrived from the States because he got a prize for his merit. Let's welcome Jean Bittencourt, who is going to share lots of great experience with us today, okay? Jean?
So, good evening, everybody. My name is Jean. Yes, I'm very happy to be here. I would like to thank CCAA Nova Iguaçu and Connie for the invitation. Yes, and I hope we can have a nice time together, learn, and have fun. Yes, it's amazing to have you all here.
Okay. Well, guys, you know the meaning of something ordinary, something common. Jean was an ordinary student, a common student, going to CCAA. He's going to talk to us a little about his family. But every time you do your extra, you take the ordinary and you become extraordinary. That's what we have here today, an extraordinary teacher. And he's going to tell us a little about his life story, okay? Please, Jean.
Okay. So, I got at CCAA when I was about 8 years old, and I have never left. I have been at CCAA for about 22 years. I finished the course when I was 18 years old, and then I became a teacher, yes, and since then I have been teaching at CCAA. I'm from Queimados, right, which is very close to Nova Iguaçu, but in fact I was born here in Nova Iguaçu, because when I was born, Queimados wasn't even a city. Yeah. And in my family, yeah, there used to be 4 people. Yes, my parents, my sister who's there, and I, but now we are 5 because we have a brother. Yeah, he was adopted. And now I am married. Yeah, Connie was there in my wedding. She's a very special friend. So we've known each other for some time too. And that's all. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I asked Jean to tell us a sentence that would represent him. And he talked to me about a sentence that you probably know. Most people love this sentence, which is something like this. All your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So you have to have courage to get what you want. And you have to believe you can do it. Jean, why does this sentence represent you?
Okay, I chose this sentence, guys, because in fact, I was going to the US for the first time when I was 18 years old. But when I went there to get my visa, it was denied. And then I couldn't go to the US. And some years later, yeah, I think it was 6 years later, I went there again in order to get the visa. And I got the visa as a tourist. And then I had the chance to go to the US for the first time 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was in 2015. Yeah, we went to Orlando. Last year, I was there again in New York. I went there sightseeing. But I have never thought I would have the chance to go there in order to study, although it has always been a dream. And I got this dream. And it was denied, the visa, some years ago. And now I not only have the visa to go there in order to sightsee, but I also have the visa to go there in order to study. So it was amazing, and then I chose this sentence because of that.
It really represents
Yes,
you,
I do
right?
think so.
Guys, he just came from the US. He was in Atlanta, and Jean got this travel was completely paid, right?
By the government.
By the government, because Jean got a kind of prize. He was honored to go in there, but I would like him to tell us how, okay? How he managed to get this prize, what he did, give you the clues. Maybe you have similar dreams, similar ideas, and he can help you, giving you information, and you can ask him questions about it later on, okay?
Okay, the selection, guys, was the TOEFL, right? And this is really important because you know that here at CCAA, when you finish the course, you're going to take the TOEFL test. And it's not an easy test. And a hint I'm going to give you before moving on is do your LCPs, right? because the listening is always the most difficult part. Yeah, so if you don't practice, if you don't do the LCPs, probably someday in the future you're going to have problems. I know sometimes it is tiring, I know sometimes we don't want to do it, but we have to. It's really important. And then the selection to travel abroad was taking the TOEFL. I was not the only one to be there. In fact, there were 486 Brazilian teachers all over the US. Okay, and everything was paid by the government. And the 3 different courses were offered. Yeah, the first one was English, intermediate level 1. The second one was English, intermediate level 2. And the third one was methodology. The one I took was methodology. And you would take the course according to your score. So you take the TOEFL test, right? In fact, when you take the TOEFL, there is no failing or passing. Yeah, you get a score, and based on your score, they can tell you how much of the language you know. Yeah, and if you score between if you score between 450 and 499, you would take the first course. If you score between 550, you would take the second one. And if your score is over 550, you would take the one I took. And then I went there. I spent 45 days in Atlanta studying. There were 40 people in the group. Yes, 30 people were from Rio, and there were some of them from Minas, from different parts of Minas. It was an amazing experience, and I think that, oh gosh, probably in my life, I would never have this chance again. It was wonderful.
So 45 days.
45.
Did you get it, guys? He had to do a test. The test you will all do if you keep on studying here. And with the grades he got there, he was honored to, he took this trip. But you got the best course, I guess.
Yes.
Because there were 3.
Yeah, the course I took was the one that demanded the best score.
Right.
Yeah, but in fact, I don't know everybody's score.
So for him to be entitled to taking this course, and the course was methodology, he would need a very good grade.
Yes.
Very good score. And he had it.
The bad part is, I don't have the chance to go there again. But teachers who took the first or the second course can try. Yeah, taking the TOEFL again, and if they get a better grade, they can go there in order to take the course I took. So I had just one chance. Yeah, but some teachers can go there twice in case they have a better grade now.
So your good grade gave you the top course,
the top
but then you
course.
can't go again.
I can't go there again.
But you said that this institution. Can you tell them the name of the institution?
Yeah, it's CAPES.
CAPES, a kind of you know about it? Well. How can you run for this? How can you?
Okay, CAPES is an institution, right? And it makes use of public money in order to invest in professional development. So I was there. I didn't have to spend my own money. I didn't spend $1. Yeah, everything was paid. Yeah, food, the place I stayed in, transportation, the tickets in order to take the plane.
They gave you some money, didn't they?
I got when I got there, there was a bank account, and there was some money there. In fact, there was $560, and the university also gave us some money. We got $400. So in fact, I got almost $1,000. And I didn't have to spend my own money with anything. So I was able to spend it the way I wanted.
But maybe, Jean, what can be a curiosity for them is these copies you mentioned, how could they come to this on the internet? Is there a link?
Yeah, you can simply Google it. You can simply type copies there, and then you're going to find some information. But there is also Fulbright. Yes, Fulbright there is a partnership. And if you Google Fulbright, you're going to see that the chances are offered for people who have a different educational background, not only English teachers. Yeah, there are opportunities, in fact, for high school students who study at public schools. So there is something we call Jovens Embaixadores, right? I don't know if you have heard of it, but if you Google it, you can find some information. And students can also travel abroad and spend some time in the USA.
And not only students, right?
Not only students.
Anybody. You don't have to be a teacher or a student. You just have to speak some English and try it.
Okay, sure.
So take your luck. Why not? It's interesting to mention that although all English Jean speaks comes from CCAA, and sure it is, this opportunity that was given to him was because he works in public schools.
Yes.
So he teaches at public schools. One thing I found very interesting and curious is that people in Atlanta over the course in the university couldn't understand how Jean and all the Brazilian teachers there could teach English at school, not speaking English, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can you comment on this?
I don't know where you study, but you know that at schools we don't normally use English in classes. Yeah, when we have English classes, the teacher usually speaks Portuguese, teaching English. And in Atlanta, I was able to visit an institution. It's like an English course, because if you go there, you find people from all over the planet, and there were people there studying English. Yeah, so it was like an English course, and I could see people from different nations, and everybody was talking, speaking English naturally. And we had classes there in Atlanta, for example. One of the subjects I had was integrated skills. And then the professor was teaching us how to integrate speaking, reading, listening, and writing, in class. And when we told her that we don't usually have the chance to speak English in class, she was shocked. Because how can you teach a language and you do not speak the language? Yes, and this is something really shocking, because probably you have already heard what I'm going to say, but students usually say, this happens at school. Every year the teacher talks about the verb to be. Yes, every year. The problem is, you spend about 8 years at school, and according to students studying the verb to be, you leave the school and you do not know how to conjugate the verb to be.
Exactly.
So this is really, shocking, but this is what happened. Yeah, she was shocked by this piece of information.
And then we don't know if the problem is the system, the students, the teaching. I think because how come you study for 80? And we don't need to go to public schools only. For instance, private schools.
Yes, for sure.
You stay there from all the grades, and you have to try a name, and you have to try an extra course to pass, because you were there preparing for college, and you were never prepared for college.
Yeah, I think that one of the problems is students don't see themselves having the chance to speak English in the future. Yeah, they think that they're never going to travel abroad, things are not going to happen in life, but things happen, and we have to be ready, because time passes anyway. So why not study? Yeah, if you have the chance to study, you should keep on studying, so that one day in the future, if you have the chance, you know how to speak the language.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the attractions, yes?
Yes.
He mentioned several places he visited in Atlanta, and one day you went to Louisiana.
Yeah, it was a free weekend.
You stayed there for a day?
No, I traveled on Friday night, and I came back home on Sunday night.
Because it was a long bus travel.
It took us 8 hours to get there. traveling by bus for 8 hours.
Yeah, he visited some other place. But there in Atlanta, I saw in the pictures, and you will also see, guys, a place called Six Flags. I saw World of Coca-Cola. It's not Coke. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And I asked Jean, was it Coca-Cola there? Not Coke? He said, yes. All around, wasn't it?
Yes, that was advertisement, in fact, using Coca-Cola. Yeah, but people usually say Coke, but billboards, ads, everything was Coca-Cola.
That's very, it's very surprising, I think. Well, I suppose it was used only here in Brazil. You also went to parks, aquariums, Skyville.
A cemetery.
And who was buried there?
It was a mandatory activity, yeah, so we didn't have the chance to say, no, I'm not going, we had to go there.
Really?
And people said, yeah, the professors said that they wanted us to go there because it is a very nice place, and in fact it is. It's a very beautiful cemetery, it's really big. And they said that when you go to a cemetery, it's a way of knowing the past. And we talked about segregation a lot, so we could see that black people and white people were buried, you know, in totally different areas. So that was the intention, showing us that. Yeah, there were famous people there. There was a guy, I don't know his name, but the picture is here. Yeah, there are lots of balls because he used it to be a golf player. And then every time people visit the cemetery, people carry a ball and leave the ball there.
To honor him.
Yes, to honor him.
And it's strange, they segregate a lot and they talk about segregation,
yes.
Right? Yeah, but interesting, this part I didn't see.
Because Martin Luther King, it's also there, yeah, it's from Atlanta.
Is he buried there?
I don't know where he's buried, in fact, but he's from Atlanta. I went to his church, yeah, that was the service. I didn't have the chance to go to the service, but I visited the church, his house, and everything. Yeah, he's from there. That's the reason we talked about segregation.
Mm-hmm. You also spent Independence Day there.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
I think it was the best part because I could really see patriotism runs in their blood. Yeah, there were lots of activities. There was a race right in the morning, and I could see kids in their garages, you know, offering people lemonade, things to eat. There were companies distributing Coke, Gatorade, and everything. And when it was night, we went to a park. Yeah, the name is Centennial Park, to see the fireworks. I didn't know it was like that. And everybody was saying, oh, happy July 4th on the street. So it was really amazing because I could really see the culture deeply.
Just like in Brazil.
Just like in Brazil. Because in Brazil, yes, Independence Day is just around the corner. The only thing we want to do is to stay home because it's a holiday. You know, we are not going to school, we are not going to work. Sometimes there is a parade, but if you do not belong to the army, you do not go there. But American people do celebrate the holiday. So it was really nice seeing that.
Mm-hmm. What would you say, Jean, was unique in this experience?
I would say the fact that language serves communication. I was talking to Connie about it because in Atlanta you see people from all over the planet, and English unites people. You know, although there were people that have different native languages, everybody was using English to communicate. And people speak English differently, yes, because they are from different countries, but everybody was able to communicate even though, yeah, we speak different Englishes. So that was amazing too.
Mm-hmm. You see, people, how a talk show runs in the blood of teachers. I always say our talk show is not a pedagogical show. It's just a way to bring to you information, to give you light to marvelous people who work the language and help you learn and keep on doing this great work. But we always say, don't be afraid of speaking English. Don't worry about making mistakes, because we teachers, of course, are always trying to improve our English,
yes, for sure.
To speak better and better, to bring better things to you. But whenever you have the opportunity to speak English, speak, because the language serves communication. If people can understand you, if you can understand people, that's it. You have done it, right?
Everybody makes mistakes. Of course, we should minimize them as much as we can, but making mistakes is part of speaking the language. Yes, we are Brazilian people. Everybody here speaks Portuguese, and we make mistakes every day, although it is our native language. So why not making mistake when you speak English? As I said, we can minimize them. We have to study the language. But yeah, it serves communication. So the most important thing is I am able to communicate, and I shouldn't fear that. Yes, I have to speak, and I'm going to understand and be understood.
Exactly. In my classes, I usually use the sentence that I don't know if my bosses would like the sentence, but I always told the students, you have to, but I'm afraid I'm going to make mistakes. Speak wrong, but speak English. Speak English, right? You have to start. You don't have to be good to start, but you have to start to be good. If you never start, you will never be a good English speaker, right? So, Jean, thank you very much for all the information you brought us today.
My pleasure.
Personally, I learned a lot. I know you have much more than this to share, but we have to cope with the little time we have. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you have gotten something from this experience so you can add to your life. You know, there is a sentence which I like a lot, which says, everything your parents give you, if you don't do something with it, it will never be yours. Okay? Your parents can leave lots of things for you, but if you don't pursue it, if you don't attain it, it will never be yours. So today you are having one more opportunity. Someone is investing in your English. You are here with a person who just traveled, brought you information. I hope you can get something from this experience and add to your life. This is what we from CCAA Shopping Nova Iguaçu want, to always help you improve your English and open your horizons, okay? Thank you very much. And you guys on the internet, wherever you are watching our talk show, thank you for tuning in and wait for the next show. We will still keep on talking, but this recording part ends here, okay? Thank you very much. And happy birthday to our talk show. 1 year, okay? Jean, you are starting the new year of talk show. Thank you very much. Bye bye, guys.